Alright, it's time for another 6.5 PRC video. So I tried to make one of these the other day with the Sierra 130 grain tipped Game King, but with Sierra's low data, I was only able to shoot 2 of them and had to pull the bullets. So we are here today. We're going back to the 140 grain Bowtail hollow point from Hornady. Seems like these shot pretty good in the past. We're using Nosler 1x fired brass, the CCI number 34, and reloader 23. So it looks like Hornady's predicting a max somewhere around 54.1. We're going to back pretty far off that today because in the past, like I said, with reloader 23 and this Nosler Brass, we had problems. So we are starting out at 51.5 grains. We're going to work our way up to 53.5 grains in half grain increments. We're going to use the same overall length we've used in the past with the 140 Bowtail hollow point at 2.9 cartridge overall length. So hopefully these shoot pretty well and we don't get into any pressure issues. So let's get on out to the range and see if they'll shoot. Alrighty, we are out here on the range. The target is at 100 yards. This is my Bergara B14 HMR, chambered in 6.5 PRC, 24-inch barrel, 1 1/8 twist. The gun is cold. It is probably 80 to 85 degrees out. As you guys can probably hear in the camera and with the trees kind of blowing around, it is a little bit gusty today, but we need to get these loads shot. I'm not going to have time over the next week or so to get them shot, so we need to do that today. We're getting velocity through the Labradar, and we're doing 3-shot groups. So let's go ahead and we're going to see how these group. Alright, so looks like we're already getting just a slight ejector swipe. For whatever reason, we seem to be getting more pressure than what low data is predicting. So we're going to go ahead and shoot this next one anyway, and hopefully we can get through these today without destroying our brass. That's why you guys haven't seen a PRC video lately. That one we had an average of 2901 feet per second with a 24 standard deviation, so not good there. Alright, let's move on up. And just a slight mark on that one. Just a little bit of a tough bolt lift there too. Alright, let's take a look at our velocity there. Alright, that one we were looking at 2907 with a 2.7 SD. So let's go ahead and move on up, see if we can get away with shooting this next load. Now surprisingly, that's the best looking piece of brass yet. Right, and again, that one doesn't look bad at all either. So let's take a look at our velocity there. So that load there, we were looking at 2927 average with an SD of 0.9, extreme spread of 2. All right, so that one there was some amazing velocity numbers. Now it is just a 3-shot group, but nothing to complain about there. And for whatever reason, the brass looked fine. So let's go ahead and move on up, see if we can get away with this one as well. All right, see if the wind will cooperate here with us just. Okay, a little bit of a tough bolt lift on that one. Still getting that shiny spot from the ejector there. Are you kidding me? Alright, so that group was looking pretty good till that last one there. Brass really still doesn't look any worse than it did when we started. Let's see our velocity on that one. That one we were looking at 2943, SD of 11.7. Alright, let's move up to our last group here. So I did not think we were going to get to shoot all these because I thought we were going to destroy our brass, but for whatever reason, those first couple had more pressure signs than the higher charges here. Alright, so last groups here. Alright, yeah, interesting enough. Again, nothing worse than we saw on the first group. Alrighty, so let's take a look at our velocity there, and then we'll go check out the target. That one we were looking at 2979 average with a 5.2 SD. So overall, looks like we had some pretty good velocity data. Let's go check out the target. Alrighty, so we're back at bench here. We're taking a look at our target today. That first group at 51.5 grain, shot 2,901 feet per second with a 24.8 SD with a 0.8 inch full 3-shot group. Moving up to 52 grains, we shot 2,907 feet per second, 2.7 SD, and the best group of the day at 0.59 inches. Moving on to the next group at 52.5 grains, 2,927 feet per second, a 0.9 SD, and a 0.74 inch group. Moving on to the next group of the day at 53 grains, we shot 2,943 feet per second, 11.7 SD, and just over an inch at 1.07 inches. Moving on to our last group of the day, at 53.5 grains, we shot 2,979 feet per second, 5.2 SD, and a 0.9 inch group. So I don't know what's going on with these groups. It seemed like we tended to group a couple together and then drop some low. It was awfully windy out today. You can probably hear it in the camera. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. They all felt like good shots. Nothing in particular that I felt like was a poor shot. Now, I talked about on the range how I was a little concerned about our pressure signs. We definitely had some today on the brass, especially on those last two loads. So I'll throw up a picture of all of them there. You can just see that slight swipe, even starting at that 51.5 grain, and then getting a little bit worse as we moved on with the worst pressure signs, obviously on the top two loads. I don't think that we're in scary range, but definitely don't think this is doing our brass any favors, and we're definitely near the top, so we wouldn't want to go up any higher. So SDs looked good across the board. We had 2.7 SD, 0.9, and 11.7, and a 5.2. You know, all those are good numbers. Obviously, these are 3-shot groups. We'd have to confirm with more shots, but overall, fairly happy with the results today. It's been nice to shoot the PRC again because it's been a little while. Like I said, I had those issues with some loads that were a little bit over pressure. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.